Hi everyone, welcome back to another Cut Above with Chris. Head shave today and face shave. I'm looking forward to the head shave. This is my first sort of consecutive head shave since having to grow my hair out. The two little bumps in the back of my head are still there. My head, to be honest, doesn't look too bad in the back. I thought there'd be a lot of red marks and scarring and all sorts, but it wasn't that bad. Anyway, the soap for today, being Friday, is Fat Friday, Mitchell's Wool Fat Shaving Soap, 1893 formula, prepared with natural lanolin. Pretty much the best, in my opinion, of the longest standing soaps around. I mean, this is over 100 years now, you know, it's 127 years, is that right? Yes, I think 127 if my maths is right, which is not great, but there we go. Now I'm just going to wet my head. It's a no prep shave. Whether it's going to be any good or not, who knows. Just going to pour the the soaking water, and just add that onto my head. Now I used Sterling Scots Pine Sheep, which was an excellent performing mutton tallow and lanolin based soap. But the scent on Mitchell's Wool Fat is far superior. I would say the slickness is probably slightly better in the Wool Fat. Well, it is better, the slickness, but I was really surprised with the Sterling offering, to be honest. The brush for tonight for the head shave is the Semogue Owners Club 2012 Special Edition. This is a beautiful brush. I love this sort of, it almost looks like a, let's see if I can get it to focus, like a black and grey wood effect. And this has got a 24mm boar badging, or a Boja I call it. 50% boar, 50% badging. I think the first time Semogue did it was when they used they put it in the Carabella brush, which is a highly sought after brush. For whatever reason, I think it was maybe because it was the first time they'd actually done the 50-50 mix of boar and badger. But they are readily available now, and you can pick them up from anywhere, provided that sells Semogue. Now I will touch on something else, something that I've never seen Semogue do before. They have just recently, that I've noticed on Gifts and Care, I think it was Gifts and Care, they're now doing synthetics. It is wooden handled synthetics. They look very nice. I will probably try and get one at some point. They're not too expensive. They're similar to the price of the sort of cheaper boar range of the Semogue brushes. But the handles look quite nice. Right, there's the brush loaded. That was probably way too much. Now, I had a comment about Mitchell's Wool Fat. Someone has recently used it, purchased it and used it, and is really struggling to get a lather, even sort of following the way I lather, which is nothing special, but it does tend to work. It certainly works with Mitchell's Wool Fat. I haven't really had a bad lather from this soap since I got this ceramic jar of it. Now I've got two pucks of wool fat in here. I've got the original one in the bottom, which I grated, and I've got a second puck on top which I grated, both of which have given me great lathers. So obviously I would imagine there are two different batches of wool fat. Just sorting my mirror out over there so I can see what's going on. Yeah, the Semogue Owners Club 2012. Took a long time to break this brush in. It's definitely more of a head shaving brush or a head lathering brush for me, because it does still have a very minimal amount of scritch and scratch, and I'm not a major fan of that. That's something that I don't really like on the face. On the head, it's a different matter. My head's not very sensitive in terms of feeling scritch and scratch. I can feel it, but it's nothing major, and that's the reason why this brush was skipped over as I went around my den recently, and I didn't actually end up using this one. So far all I'm doing here is I'm just working the lather. I've not added any water at all. What I want to do is basically beat the air out of it so that it's dense and it looks, I don't know whether you can see how dense that's getting. It's not airy. It's starting to really sort of get heavier and heavier. It is a little bit airy, but once you get to the point where it's super thick, that's when I add the water. if I add it too early, I sort of lose track of where I'm at, and then all of a sudden you can sort of be in the too much water phase. Now this will hold a lot of water, but for some reason when you just smash it with water in the beginning, it struggles. So I'm adding water now. I mean, on my head shaves, I'm not too fussed about having a big voluminous lather or anything super exciting. I just like the slickness, which Mitchell's Wool Fat gives you plenty of. Even with a poor lather, with a sort of Williams mug soap lather, I would still probably have enough to get a good... Jesus, I don't know what my daughter's doing dancing today. It sounds like she's building a shed in there. But you can see there, it's building up into a lovely lather already. The fat, fantastic stuff, it really is. It's one of those ones now where I'm sort of, people are buying it and they're coming back and saying, I can't get this stuff to lather, and I'm like, I honestly don't know what to tell people now, because I got hard water. My water's terrible here in Western Australia. A lot of the water that we have that comes out the taps is desalinated from the ocean. Just going to dip the brush, just paint a bit of water in there. That looks reasonably wet. That looks about roughly where I want it. I'm using the leaf razor today for the whole shave, so I'm not too fussed on the lather, to be honest. The razor should do the work for me. But there is the brush, chock-a-block full of lather, and as you saw, it's, for me anyway at least, it's very, very easy to work with. It does the work for you really. You just have to add the water a little bit afterwards, don't add it straight away. Right, the leaf razor. There's no more superlatives for this razor. I love it. I think it's brilliant. It removes, it's a cartridge shave without the price and look and feel and plastic of a cartridge. I mean, there are no cartridges out there that are 100% metal, whereas this one is, even though the handle on that's a sort of composite. It's all recyclable and reusable, I believe. Excuse me. Right, now the blades that are in here is the second use on the Personna Lab Blues, and this was super, super smooth when I used it previously, so here we go, straight against the grain. I don't know whether this is a good idea, going straight against the grain after all the problems I had for the last sort of 2 or 3 weeks. But let me just say, I think I might have found my favourite blade in the leaf razor. The Gillette Lab Blues, Personna Lab Blues, are buttery smooth. They don't show a lot of blade. As you can see, the blade doesn't stick down heaps. It does a little bit, but not a massive amount, so it's not giving me any like, sort of really bladey feedback or anything like that. I'm not getting any whippers so far that I've really noticed. But the thing I like about the Lab Blues and the Med Preps is they're very, very sharp out the box. They're very smooth blades, and I like them in my DE razors as well, so it's not just the leaf razor that I like them in. I think they're just very well made razor blades. They appear to be very, very consistent in their makeup. I don't really get many, in fact I don't think I've actually had a dud Lab Blue or Med Prep blade. So their quality control and their machining is obviously very, very good. Yeah, so I'm really, really happy with it. Happy with the razor, of course, as you know. I don't think there's anything better on the market now. I think this is honestly, it just outdoes everything. People have been asking me to try the Broman razor, and it's just, I don't mean to be a bit of a bore in that, but I mean, I'm almost at a point, like, why bother? Like, this thing is so good. I suppose for the channel just to do it and let people know my thoughts on it, but to be honest with you, I like most things that Chris over at IAmCDB enjoys. You know, I tend to get on well with the blades that he likes. I get on well with the razors that he likes. The ones that I've tried, the same as him, at least that is. We both really enjoy the Leaf. And it's a very hard razor to look past, you know. Even if I had my den full of cartridges and all the best head shaving gear, you know, like the head blade and the Omni-Shave, all those. I mean, I didn't get on well with the premium Omni-Shave, but just get the sink back up. Oh, the water is roasting. Oh, that slickness, the Mitchell's Wool Fat slickness. Woo! Yeah, that water is roasting. I think the boiler's not fucking on fire outside. That's the last 2 days now, the water's just been off the charts hot. So this coating of lather, I'm not too fussed about it being a big voluminous one. I just want a nice thin layer of soap. I mean, one thing about this brush is it does make a lather very easily. It releases the lather beautifully. You can see the flow through on it, through the base of the knot. Just works so well. And that's us. So this will be the final pass. We should get a BBS result. This soap is crazy slick. I know I've spoken about it several times. And I've used it loads. I'll just whack my razor into the bowl with the sink there. Oh, what happened there? Oh, that's it. BBS, lovely. That was a bit of blood there. It felt a little bit rough there. I don't know what happened. It was a bit strange. The good thing at this time of year is cold water is freezing and I love it. Just tile my mirror off because it's covered in splashes. Yeah, that was a bit odd there. That was just right there. Nothing else anywhere else. So a little bit, a couple of little weepers on the back here, but that's fine. That's a straight against the grain shave really. So just, it's really strange feeling. Wow. Oh, the Mitchell's Wool Fat post shave as well. It's good stuff. Right, let's finish the brush out. Fucking hell. Mitchell's Wool Fat for Fat Friday. And for most of us, at the moment, with self-isolation and quarantine all around the world, it really is fucking Fat Friday. I need to really start motivating myself to get outside and start running again and doing stuff, because our quarantines and social isolations and stuff are really going to be curbing over the next sort of, I reckon the next 2 to 3 weeks we'll be pretty much back to normal here in Western Australia, with very few restrictions, if any. I think the only thing we can really take out of it is hopefully people start just being a little bit more hygienic just in general. Yeah, I'm really happy with that. That's a cracking shave. That feels beautiful. The brush for today, let me just, hang on a minute, let me just soak this brush while I'm talking. The brush for today was the Semogue Owners Club 2012. It's looking a little bit scraggly now. just a cracking brush, it really is. Smells great. I mean, it's definitely soft enough for a face lather. It's not like it's scratchy, but I do feel it. And well, every brush in the den feels better on my face than that one does. That's probably the least favourite in terms of actually lathering on my face. The razor, the Leaf razor with 3 Personna Lab Blue blades. And I'm just going to finish off now. I don't really need a post shave to be honest, but I will finish off with a little bit of Lucky Tiger aftershave and face tonic. Is it going to focus? No, there we go. Soothe and refresh with aloe vera, calendula and chamomile. And this stuff does actually work very well. It's really nice calming effect on the skin. Not that I really need it after a shave like that. I've actually got a little bit of hair there. Sneaky, sneaky. And as you can see, you can actually shave with it as well. It's actually surprisingly slick. The Lucky Tiger. Of course, I don't recommend this at home. Even though I'm at home. Beautiful. What a shame. Well, doesn't get much better on the chromium for me. Stay safe, drive safe, don't drink and drive, and I'll catch you guys next time. Cheers.